are live, lock and loaded. Hello, my friends of the Elemental Serenity Sphere. I go by Honeybee, and I am here to be your soul alignment guide. And so today's topic, I haven't been on here in a while, but I'd just like to come back on. I got a new job at a vineyard, so I'm constantly moving and growing and learning how I can balance my life, finding myself in the matrix, but also connecting to what ignites my soul, which is the purpose of Elemental Serenity. It's all about love, relationships, and most importantly, the relationship to self. So, as a soul alignment guide, I tap into my intuition. I tap into what's going on for me. I'm using that to alchemize it as medicine to help the collective come into a place of pure positivity, prosperity, and purpose. And so that involves movement, flow, embodiment, retreats that I host around the world, just ways to really connect to yourself deeply, because Lord knows that being in the matrix can take us and distract us and disconnect us from who we are. So my whole intention with hosting these lives and eventually a podcast will be to help us together grow collectively, to build up our confidence, to allow ourselves to get into those aligned places, so you're not stepping into the fear. It's all about going from limited beliefs to limitless beliefs. So today's topic is about fear, and we're talking about how to alchemize that into your power, because let's be real, fear can stop us from really stepping into a place of power and purpose, because fear is just that ugly thing, but it's also a safety thing. It could also help us from jumping into a river full of crocodiles. Like, fear's there for us, right? But on the other side of fear, on certain places in your limiting beliefs, when it comes to fear of leaving a job that feels secure, fear of leaving a relationship that feels toxic, but it's security because you don't want to be lonely. These are all, limiting beliefs, right? It comes to a limited place, a cap of where you're at, because your fear is keeping you there. So I was sharing recently on a post that I just did about how I was afraid to spin fire. I was afraid of love. I was afraid that I was not worthy enough. I really just didn't feel in alignment with who I was. So a lot of that, the anxieties that we get from the fear really can be there to serve us. Because if we take that time to become aware of that fear, to realize it, to see it, it can then become your power. For example, the fear of leaving a toxic relationship, right? You have the fear of being alone. But could being alone be your biggest remedy to really aligning to yourself, spirit, mind, soul, body, purpose, instead of leaning into this toxicity, this person that makes you feel crappy, this situation that brings your energy down, right? So that's a really big deal. How can you alchemize that fear and turn it into something that helps you? And a lot of that comes from just being in your power, realizing your self-worth. Same with the fear of leaving a safe job, because it feels safe. It's got all these benefits. It's got all these things, but it's draining you on the inside out, and you're literally feeling so disconnected from your power and purpose because you've given it all, hours, time, commitment, gas, energy, all of it to this place, right? So how do we shift that? How do we move through that energy, that fear, that uncomfortable place? How do we move that? And I would say step one is really getting clear about that fear. Like, is it here to keep me safe, or is it here to serve me? And so to think of it in the way of serving you, what would be on the other side? What would that look like? What would that feel like if you weren't afraid of that anymore? And a lot of the things that I do with clients, we talk about the law of attraction. It's not a religion, it's a thought philosophy, right? It's a way of thinking. It's a way of putting your mind into a really positive place to get into the vibration of what it feels like to be where you want to be. When you have no resistance, when you have no fear or resistance, as we like to say in the law of attraction, you go towards the path of least resistance, following your life in joy and bliss, and then you really just align like magic to the things that you love. So I invite you to get clear about that fear. Maybe journal it, write it down, be like, I have been afraid of. But don't attach to it and say, I am afraid, I'm fearful. You're reliving and recounting that fear by the stories you tell and the sentences you say. So it's really important to kind of just say, I realize I had a fear of. I see the fear hasn't been serving me. Like detach from it. Don't identify as the fear. Or I'm afraid or I had, don't attach to that. Don't own the fear, right? In that way of ownership, possessing it as it possesses you. Just see it, witness it from an outside perspective, turn it into a different type of sentence, if that makes sense. And then when you're starting to journal and think about that, what would my life look like outside of the fear? What would my life be like if this wasn't a fear? Maybe it's a fear of flying, which has been true for me. That outside that fear, it's this adventurous spirit, it's this traveling, it's feeling aligned, it's meeting new people all over the world. And those feelings are far greater than the fear that I have of flying, right? So I lean into the most joyful piece of that on the other side of the fear. I lean into that purpose and that possibility. I'm thankful for the birds and the bees and the opportunities. And that's been like the mantra of carrying my life forward, because being in gratitude is better than being in fear. But the fear's there. It's there for some reason, right? It's there for you. It's there to show you, but I invite you to welcome that fear in, see it as a like stranger outside of yourself by not attaching to it, and really lean into the other side of like what my life would look like beyond that. And this is the type of work we do in Soul Ignite, the 3-month program that allows you to really get into your body, into your spirit. We release the doubt demons, we release that fear, and we start alchemizing it and turning it into something that goes from limited to limitless, and there's possibilities. I'm thankful for the birds and the bees and the opportunities, and I invite you to kind of welcome that mantra into your life when you're feeling that fear, and just know it's there to serve you. So all of you, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for allowing me to share that short little snippet of fear. And I invite you to comment below saying something that I had a fear of, but I'm excited to welcome in, and share what you're excited to welcome in. And your comment might help someone else in their journey, inspire them. So don't be afraid to share. I invite you to share open-heartedly, authentically, how it is you're feeling, and it's going to make someone's day. And I'm there to answer every single person that commented below. So thank you all for letting me share. I'm Anna Honeybee Rose. Go by Honeybee in this world. And for those of you that are excited and want to tune in to Soul Ignite, just comment below and say Soul Ignite. And another exciting offering is that we're going to Bali in October 23rd through the 30th of 2023. And it's called Ignite Your Soul Through Adventure, Play, and Connection. So if you're eager to tune in with people, connect with them, adventure to a place, which my fear of flying is real, but I'm leaning into that joy of being there with people, connection, and being outside of that fear and really empowering myself and staying positive, because I could get in the funk. I could get in the funk. But if you're open to adventure, connection, and play, it's 8 days, 7 nights, and we'd love to see you there. I'm going to link it in the comments below. And I'm also going to share a meditation if you'd like to subscribe to my email list, where I'll be sending videos like this and mantras and meditations and all these things to help ignite your soul and your spirit and alignment and divinement. And so all of this, thank you so much. Let's take a deep breath before we close out. Breathe it all the way in, and then release it out. Dust it off, dust the fear off of you, get those dusty critters off. And I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day. And I'm excited to see what you'll comment below. Ciao, bello!